Hello, everyone. Today, let's talk about financial planning, financial literacy. It's very important actually to make sure that we are planning our finances to meet our life goals, right? We need to plan for the future. And so we need to understand how to manage our income, our expenses, our savings, our investments. What kind of things should we invest in? We need to do retirement planning. We need to plan for our insurance, and then of course taxes. All of these things, it's important that we know how to navigate our finances. The topic of finance is really broad. So how do we make sure that we are catering to the different aspects of our finance and we are planning for our future? The first thing I'll say is that we must set goals. We must set short-term goals, mid-term goals, and then long-term goals. Short-term goals are things that we really want to do to make sure that we're getting immediate results, right? And then long-term goals are the things that, planning that we can do for the long term. So for retirement, for example, or maybe you have young kids and you're planning for your children's education and their university and things like that. So those are long-term goals. And the first thing I would say is that we have to evaluate. So we need to take stock. You need to sit down and check, what are my assets versus my liabilities? Your assets are things that, bring financial income to you. So things that you've invested in. And then your liabilities are things that take money away from you, right? And so we have to measure what is bringing money towards me, or what do I have that can bring money for me, and what is taking money out of me. The next analysis we have to do is to evaluate what is my current income state versus my expenses. Ideally, your income should always be higher than your expenses. And so planning and evaluating helps you to know what your current status is, and also helps you to develop a plan to go forward. And so that's where the topic of budgeting comes in. We don't just spend, any amount that comes into our account. We have to make sure that we plan, we budget. What are the expenses that I have, and just make sure that you're doing an analysis to make sure that you have some form of savings. And then when you have savings, you also need to have investments, right? You can invest in stocks, in bonds, in real estate, mutual funds. There's so many ways that we can actually invest now. And so you can speak with, your financial advisor, or a subject matter expert that can advise you, on how to plan. The other thing is a retirement plan. Having a retirement plan is so important. So in North America, for example, in the US, we have the 401k. In Canada, we have the RRSP. This is money that you put aside over time towards your retirement. And the good thing is, if you sit with your financial advisor, they can tell you, how to you tell them what your goal is at retirement, and then they can tell you how much you need to put in to achieve that goal. And also, this money is invested, so you can do it by yourself if you're financially literate enough, or you could have subject matter experts. The banks help people with that. You can talk to them and tell them what your goal is, and then they'll provide the suggestions on the kind of things you can invest in and put your savings plan into, the money you've put aside, right? You tell them what you want to put it into, and then you tell them your risk level. That's really important. I don't want to gamble too much. My risk appetite is really low. You tell them that would affect and influence what kind of suggestions they give to you as well. Another thing we have to plan for is our children's education, right? You have to start early and putting money aside. Again, this money can be reinvested, and and these are kind of long-term goals if you have your younger children, right? And so you can put this money aside, make sure that it is yielding in profit for you, and then the money is growing. And then of course we have to plan for insurance. There are different kinds of insurance. There's life insurance, there's health insurance, there is disability insurance, there's property insurance. So make sure that you are learning about all these different kinds of insurance. And then, of course, this money is also sometimes you are able to invest them. For example, if you have life insurance, there's something they call there's a kind of insurance that that is capped, and you can actually can be invested and generate some kind of income for you. So there's so many things that we can do financially to plan for our future. Another thing is taxes. We have to plan our taxes, and when we do all of these things, let's just make sure that we're hands-on, where even if you're not like the expert managing your portfolios and managing all of these finances, make sure that you're an active participant in your own finances. Make sure that you gain as much knowledge and you're monitoring closely to see how your investments, for example, are doing, or what kind of other things have I not considered that I can invest in. Make sure that you are monitoring all of these things. The hands-on approach is really the best way to go about investments. And the reason it's important that we're planning financially for our future is because it gives us a level of security, right? That okay, in the future I have a plan for my future, and as much as it's within your control, you have to plan, right? And then of course it gives you peace of mind. You're not worried about your children's future. You're not worried about maybe having enough money. And financial planning actually helps us even today with discipline, right? If you don't know how much you have, you just keep spending, or you don't know that there are opportunities for you to even grow your money, your income, by maybe investments and things like that. It just brings a kind of discipline where now you know where your money is going and what it should be going into. And one thing I'll say is start early. Talk to subject matter experts. We don't always know it all, but we can talk to subject matter experts that can advise us, and equip us for how to grow, our knowledge and become financially literate.